Thank you, Mr. Walker. And we're also very pleased that Mr. Koo, Byoung-Sam, is with us today. Mr. Koo is Director General of the Inter-Korean Cooperation District Policy Planning Directorate of the Republic of Korea's Ministry of Unification. Prior to taking this position, he served as Deputy Secretary to the President in the National Security Office. He is not a stranger to Washington, D.C., having served as the Korean Embassy's Unification Attaché from 2014 to 2017. Mr. Koo has long been involved in many of the issues that beset the Korean Peninsula and has visited North Korea 20 times. We're very pleased to welcome Mr. Koo.
네, 오늘 발표를 지난주에 발표문을 영문과 한글본 같이 보내드렸는데 한글본은 거의 바꾸지 않았으나 영어 표현을 좀 바꿔서 불가피하게 좀 영어로 하게 된 걸 양해해 주시기 바랍니다. The Catholic community in South Korea invested enormous efforts for a long time, including restoration of Jangchung Church in Pyongyang and holding exchanges between Catholic believers from both Korea. I would like to use this opportunity to extend my appreciation to Catholic Church to promote the peace of the Korean Peninsula. In our conference today, where we will seek first for peace on the Korean Peninsula, I will go over North Korea's recent actions and the Yoon Suk-yeol administration's North Korea policy that will be implemented for 5 years. After Kim Jong-un came to power, he held his power in his own way while developing nuclear weapons and seeking ways to maintain regime's survival. In 2017, he declared that the North has completed its nuclear posts and is now working on advancing its capability. Recently, North Korea announced the possible use of a nuclear weapon against South and enacted the related laws with the details on how they will employ nuclear weapons. Yesterday, North Korea fired ballistic missiles that flew far over Japan. All of these have led to escalation of tension on Korean Peninsula and Northeast Asia. On the other hand, when it comes to North Korea's economy, since the sanctions on North Korea were strengthened after 2016, the impact have accumulated since 2020 with North Korea's border closure due to COVID-19. Its trade with other countries significantly decreased, and the country is facing issues with the shortage of raw materials. After declaring that it has completed the nuclear forces in 2017, the North tried to improve its relations with the US to revitalize its economy in 2018 and 2019. However, the attempt to improve relations with the US failed, and now the North returned to the hardline stance, while demanding the US to withdraw its hostile policy against the North. Since 2019, inter-Korean relations has been cut off, and after Yoon Suk-yeol administration, Kim Jong-un threatened the Republic of Korea while blaming us that the leaflet sent from the South has caused the COVID-19 outbreak in their territory. And the North rejected our audacious initiative while continuing its strong rhetoric against the South. Now I will move on to the vision and the principle of Yoon Suk-yeol administration's North Korea policy. The vision is to create denuclearized, peaceful, and prosperous Korean Peninsula. Peaceful unification that is built upon basic free and democratic order. We have 3 principles to realize this vision. First, we will not tolerate any military provocation. This means we do not tolerate any military provocation and reject the attempt to alter the status quo. Second, we will develop inter-Korean relations based on reciprocity. This principle aims to apply flexible principle of reciprocity to resolve problems through dialogue, so that we can develop inter-Korean relations. The other principle is to establish peaceful foundation for unification. This principle is not about aiming for unification through absorption, but to establish foundation for unification in and out of peninsula based on confidence. Under this principle and vision, our government has 5 key projects. First, create a virtuous cycle between denuclearization and the confidence building between 2 Koreas. Second, normalize inter-Korean relations based on mutual respect. Third, promote human rights of North Korean people and relieve pain from separation. Fourth, recover homogeneity between the Korean people through openness and dialogue. Fifth, prepare unification with the Korean people and the international community. Under this policy framework, the key point of Yoon Suk-yeol administration's North Korea policy is the audacious initiative for North Korea's denuclearization, suggested by President Yoon's during Liberation Day address. The audacious initiative will synchronize steps for North Korea's denuclearization and economic, political, and military corresponding measures in a phased manner. We will resolve political and military confrontation with substantial progress in denuclearization through dialogue between 2 Koreas and the LOC, US, and North Korea. We will also make agreement for economic cooperation through mutual prosperity. Thus, the initiative will implement economic, political, and military corresponding measures with North Korea's denuclearization process in a phased and simultaneous manner. Instead of making small agreement and discuss next step, we will make a comprehensive agreement that will include denuclearization and the corresponding measures for each step. Once the denuclearization negotiations begin, our government will take proactive actions to improve North Korean people's livelihood. Based on the denuclearization phases, we will reduce military tension and promote substantial peace on the Korean Peninsula. Once this initiative is implemented, North Korea will be able to resolve its security concerns, overcome its economic hardship, and will find no reason to develop its nuclear weapons. For successful implementation of the initiative, it is important to create strategic environment where we will effectively deter North Korea's nuclear threat through solid LOC-US alliance, dissuade North Korea's calculation through sanctions and pressure, and bring North Korea to negotiation table through dialogue and diplomacy. Through solid LOC-US coordination, we will work closely with the international community and work to implement the audacious initiative as a party directly involved in North Korea's nuclear issues. While North Korea denounced and distorted audacious initiative and rejected the offer, but we will not be swayed by the North and continue to work forward toward our path for North Korea's denuclearization and create environment where they can be brought back to the table of negotiation. In addition, we will work to improve North Korean people's humanitarian situation and human rights, separate from the audacious initiative. First, for humanitarian issues, Yoon administration will continue to work on humanitarian cooperation for North Korean people, regardless of political and military situation, especially in regard to separated families, abductees, and detained persons. Considering their ages, we have dire need to resolve these issues as soon as possible. We will also work to establish North Korean Human Rights Foundation based on the North Korean Human Rights Act in 2016 and strengthen our cooperation with the international community to promote North Korean human rights. This is the overview of Yoon Suk-yeol administration's unification and North Korean policy. The Yoon administration respect inter-Korean agreements made by previous administration and will have a relay race of North Korean policy to fix shortcomings of the past while inheriting and developing the positive side. We will invest all efforts to accomplish North Korea's denuclearization and establish peace on the Korean Peninsula, and we will work with the international community in this process. Thank you for your attention.